Okay, hopefully this microphone placement's okay. How's it going, Internet? Adrian here. And this is life as of late. So when you catch up with an old friend or somebody you haven't seen in a while and they ask you how have things been going? And if you're anything like me, it's probably something along, if I can speak English correctly, it's usually something along the lines of same old, not much, what have you. And whether that's because you don't want to go into a long diatribe about everything that's going on, whether it's because you don't generally think much has changed despite a lot ongoing, or you just don't want to open that whole can of worms. This would be my actual decompressed what's been going on lately. So, 29 years old, I'm still here in San Francisco. I'm in the last year of my 20s. And as of late, at least in 2024, it's been it's been a year. It's been a year that's truthfully flown by. It's been a year that has been mostly, in all transparency, dedicated a lot to work in the business as of late, and just kind of shifting priorities around. There's this chart in Japan and this concept in Japanese that's known as ikigai, kind of like your purpose in life and reasons to live. And it's kind of this idea of a Venn diagram of what you're good at, what you're passionate about, what the world needs more of, and what is something that you can get paid for, and kind of finding that intersection of all those things in life. And truthfully, even prior to knowing that concept, even though I was born and raised in Japan, it's a blueprint that I've always tried to follow in my life as a whole. I was very fortunate to find what I love early, turn that into a profit, and turn that into eventually a business and career as a whole, ultimately leading me to where I'm at today. And as I've mentioned, life lately has been a lot of work responsibilities with the business and juggling a lot of that with just day-to-day life responsibilities, right? I'm a son, I'm a brother, I'm a partner to my partner who I live with. Speaking of living, I am still here in San Francisco in the Bay Area. I moved into this new apartment that I'm in currently almost a year ago, and I've been loving it. It was an upgrade for me to get a bigger space, just a new neighborhood. And it's just really truthfully one of those dream scenarios because it's a 2,600 near square foot apartment. I have this whole bottom floor as my studio and home office. It's truthfully something that, I used to dream of growing up, being and having an apartment like this, especially in a city like this. And as far as living goes as a whole right now, I am still very much cemented in San Francisco, at least for the foreseeable future, just due to the business needs and where I'm at, being the epicenter of tech. I do see that changing in the future, but I think mostly it'll still be California, whether it's here or down in Southern California. And while I approach my 30s, like some thinking about ownership and whatnot, the market's a bit crazy right now. Amplify that by the fact that I'm in a city like San Francisco where quite literally the unit across from mine that's for sale is going for 2.5 to 2.7 million. Speaks a lot to the market out here. So for right now, in the time being, I'm still okay and 100% fine renting, so to speak. But again, if I had to kind of adjust as to where my life has been prioritized as of late, I don't believe in this kind of 50% in my personal life and work. I think when you do things that you're truly passionate about, it's going to create this sort of chaos and unbalance. It's about realigning and adapting as to when certain priorities need to be priorities over other things. And inherently, yes, I've had to sacrifice more personal time this year. I've had to sacrifice certain trips, and I don't get to see my family as much or visit my siblings as much or visit even my nephew and extended family as much because I've dedicated a lot of this early part of the year to knocking some stuff out at work in the hopes that the latter part of the year I'll be able to kind of take a step back, recoup, recharge it, because I do think that's equally as important. So since work is a big topic, let's talk a lot about that because again, it's the bigger consumption in my life as of late. My business network, right, our IT consulting company here in the Bay Area that I'm a partner of, I play the role of service manager. Essentially, I oversee our entire service desk. I manage our IT managers, I manage our project leads, and I ensure that our service is operating smoothly, our clients are happy, and our team is set up for success and they continue to develop in their own skill set and grow overall. Mostly my job is to ensure that the service team is aligned with what we want to achieve as a company. We're hitting our goals and metrics that define the success of our clients. And throughout this year, we are trying to get back on a path of hyper growth. As a company, we've historically grown year over year. We got featured last year in the Inc. 5000 fastest growing companies in America. And it's something that definitely, I'm super proud of, and I want to continue, and we want to continue that momentum of growing the company, growing the business sustainably. We started out with just 3 business partners, small room, invested in an office during COVID. We quickly grew to a company that's now 20 plus people, and we've had to experience a lot of those growing pains. We've hired a lot. We've unfortunately over time had to let go of some people and readjust and realign with the business, and just really understand that where we want to be as a business and how we can continue to grow, but grow sustainably, and ensure that we keep that same level of drive and efficiency and hold our standard as we grow and scale as a company. So like I said, coming into this year, a lot of my role and responsibility was to ensure my service team was prepped and ready for the growth that was incoming due to our incoming sales and marketing efforts that we were investing in heavily this year, in turn, which would lead to the growth of the business. And we're starting to see a lot of the fruits of our labors now manifest as we come up into the kind of halfway mark of the year. But look, I'd be lying if I didn't say transparently, it's been a grind. It's been sometimes stressful. There's a lot of trials and tribulations in growing this business and expanding in my own role and trying to ensure that my team is ready and developing them, that these last 6 months have definitely raised. And I wouldn't be able to get to this point to where I'm at now if it wasn't for my other business ventures and hobbies and creative outlets that allow me to succeed in the day-to-day role. Right? If it wasn't for YouTube channels like this, or digital dojos, or my new Dojo Gamers channel where we're expanding into the gaming content category, I wouldn't be able to be as successful as I am at in my businesses. Those 40, 50, 60, 70 hours weeks would not be sustainable if it wasn't for these other outlets that I have that allow me to just exert other energy elsewhere, de-stress, refocus, realign, and take a step back from things, and see like the bigger picture. But new things like that Dojo Gamers channel allow me to also just expand my content and my passion for other things that I love and am interested in. And as somebody recently who has bought a lot of video games lately, it's allowed me to turn that hobby and passion into something that I can use as a creative outlet as well for that YouTube channel. So I'm looking forward to producing more there in the incoming year. You see, the thing for content creation for me that I've started to learn this year is I've had to be more tactical in my approach to how I approach the business side of it with things like digital dojos, which still generates me passive income and whatnot, because a lot of my focus was on network right and has been for the last couple of years. That's been my primary focus. Whereas in the past as an entrepreneur, it's easy to get caught up in like doing multiple things, having all these side projects, and people tell you diversify, have multiple streams of income. And while I get that, you gotta at times focus on like what's really working and what's going to be the bigger kind of project. It's better to have, 1 or 2 big things than it is to have like 10 small things, right? And that's what I really learned, to let go of certain aspects to focus on what would be, again, my main focus being network right. And then from there, I took a big step back from digital dojos. I turned down a bunch of sponsorship opportunities. I turned down a lot of content, and I took a real step back. And now, as somebody who's not a full-time content creator, where back in the day, I could easily just make videos whenever new tech came out or a new product came out or new news dropped. Nowadays, with my more limited time, I'm more cognizant and trying to be more strategic about how I approach my content. It's forced me to be a bit more organized, kind of develop plans and not just put things out there to put things out there when it comes to content like digital dojos. Inversely, when it comes to content like this or my Dojo Gamers channel, I can just be more laissez-faire. I can kind of just pick up a camera, hit record, and put things out there. And I think that's the best of both worlds, having the ability to have like that more structured view when it comes to content and organized from a business perspective, but also having that freedom just to create things, because I think that's ultimately why I started, and it's why I did what I did and how I got my start in all of this. And I think it's important overall to long-term sustainability as a creator as a whole. But look, all in all, right now, when it comes to life as a whole, even in just sitting down to do this video, to think about what I have ongoing, where I've been, where I'm at, and ultimately where I want to go, I couldn't help but pause. And I think often we don't reflect much on life as a whole, unless it's like there's certain moments or milestones that we hit or achieve, or, whether it's like on a New Year's resolution or what have you, we often don't think, especially when things are going good, at just how much is going on. And I'm at a point in my life right now, currently at 29 years old, as I look to aim to turn 30, I have several businesses that I'm responsible for. I have other life responsibilities that, despite the good times and despite the bad times and despite the stressful times and whatever other curveballs may come, I am very privileged to be in the position that I'm in. I'm at a point in my life currently, within the most part, and for most within reason, I should say, if I want to do certain things, I have the ability and the freedom and flexibility to do certain things. And what I mean by that is, growing up, I remember, like, if I told myself, if I had the resources, if I had the skill set, if I knew this person, if I had the financial resources to go and pursue this or make this, I would. And I look forward to where I'm at now, decades later. I have the ability and the resources to do a lot of things that, if I want to go and just travel or pick up and leave and move somewhere, within reason, I could. If I had the itch to go and buy certain materialistic things, I could. If I want to spend frivolously on things like retro video game stuff, I can. And I think to be in that position is very privileged, right? And to not have to worry when it comes to like financial freedom and having the flexibility of, in case emergencies pop up, or not just myself, but for others and the people I care for, to have that flexibility and not have that worry is very freeing, right? And it reminds me of why I put in all the time that I did to get to this position. And at the same time, it also reminds me to not stay comfortable, to always be pushing, to strive for more. And I guess if that's a look at like where I've been and what I'm up to, I want to close this out on like what I want to be doing more of at the same time, right? Because even in reflecting, as great as things are going, there's definitely areas I still need to improve on. Much as I've built these habits around work and life and so on, I definitely need to build more healthier habits around just like things like my physical fitness and health. It's something I always want to dedicate more time to. And one of those things, like many of us, where you get on the bandwagon and then you fall off. It's one of those things I'm trying to develop more consistency around. In general, I'm trying to develop habits outside of like related to work or content adjacent things that I can just have for the sake of having and are good outlets. Gaming is one of those fun ones that is definitely something that is a decompressor, de-stressor at times. But at the same time, now that I'm doing content related to gaming, like it intersects that whole path. But trying to develop hobbies outside of that further me mentally, physically, expand my knowledge, so on and so forth. As much as work and all that stuff is a big priority in life right now, I'm constantly reminded and trying my best to also help cultivate deeper relationships, meaningful relationships, checking in with my friends. It's very easy for me to get kind of losing sight of things around me. I can get very tunnel vision on what's going on in my life, that I forget to check in at times and reach out. And I know that's like for everyone, we're all kind of like on our own journey at times, but trying to be more cognizant of that is something I want to do more in my life as of late. Creatively, as much as I'm outputting right now, and I have the new channel, I have this channel, I have digital dojos, I want to raise the standard of quality in terms of the content I'm creating. And I think there are times where it's great just to get things out there, and things like Instagram challenges and these stories have always helped me do that. But there's other times where I really want to put more fully thought out, fully fleshed out projects out there. And I'm hoping to do more of that in this upcoming year. Ultimately, life right now is nothing I can complain about. There's a lot going on. There will always be more going on. There's a lot more to achieve. There's a lot more to do. And there's always a different challenge every day as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as with all the things that I have kind of juggling right now. But I wouldn't have it any other way. And if I think back to that 11-year-old me who started here on YouTube, it's everything I wanted and then some. And I look forward to sharing more updates with you as that progresses. So, hope that was a sufficient update. Thanks for watching.